Deep in the shadowed hollows of Appalachia, where moonshine was more than a drink, it was a way of life. An unspoken code bound its makers. This was a world of secrecy and danger, where betrayal could mean ruin or worse. The delicate balance of power was shattered the day Jeb Jr. Klein stumbled onto something that could change the game forever. Watermelon moonshine. Junior wasn't like the other moonshiners. Brash and ambitious, he'd inherited his grandfather's still, but not his reverence for tradition. One stifling summer night, while experimenting with his brew, Junior discovered a forgotten watermelon rotten in the barn. On impulse, he tossed the fruit into his mash, curious to see what would happen. What emerged was an elixir as dangerous as it was delicious, a pink-hued concoction with a deceptive sweetness that masked its fiery strength. It wasn't long before whispers of Junior's creation reached the ears of the local moonshine community. Those who dared to taste it found themselves hooked, but others saw it as a threat. At the top of this growing storm stood Big Amos Walker, the undisputed king of moonshine. Amos was a hulking man whose very name struck fear into the hearts of rivals. His shine was legendary, his power absolute. To him, Junior's watermelon shine wasn't just a novelty, it was an insult, a direct challenge to the old ways. The tension between Junior and Amos simmered until it erupted at a hidden tasting event, held in an abandoned mine deep within the woods. Accessible only by a treacherous path known to a select few, this clandestine gathering was where moonshiners settled scores and cemented alliances. Junior arrived with a swagger, carrying crates of his watermelon shine. As he passed out jars, the crowd's reaction was divided. Some were enthralled, others wary. Then Amos appeared, his presence casting a long shadow over the gathering. "What's this I hear about fruit juice?" Amos growled, holding up a jar of Junior's shine. His voice dripped with disdain. "You think this'll earn you respect?" Junior didn't flinch. "It's not about respect, Amos. It's about pushing the craft forward. You can't cling to the past forever." Amos stepped closer, his eyes dark and dangerous. "You're playing with fire, boy. This ain't just about shine. It's about control. You don't mess with what's mine." The crowd fell silent, sensing the undercurrent of violence. Junior smirked, but his hands clenched into fists at his sides. Maybe it's time someone did. That night, the gathering ended in chaos. Amos's men cornered Junior as he packed up his still, warning him to abandon his experiment. Junior barely escaped with his life, but the message was clear. The old guard wouldn't go down without a fight. In the weeks that followed, the feud escalated. Amos's operation began sabotaging Junior's deliveries, while Junior retaliated by spreading rumors of Amos's decline in quality. The hills buzzed with talk of a brewing war. Lines were drawn, alliances forged. The moonshine community was splitting in two, with Junior's supporters eager to topple Amos's reign. Then came the ultimatum. Amos challenged Junior to a high-stakes moonshine showdown. The rules were simple. Each man would present his best brew, and the community would decide the winner. The loser would have to shut down his operation for good. For Junior, it was a chance to prove himself. For Amos, it was a battle for survival. On the night of the showdown, the abandoned mine's cavernous interior was lit with flickering lanterns, casting long shadows on the damp stone walls. The air was thick with smoke and tension as moonshiners gathered in secrecy, their faces partially obscured by the dim light. A tense, expectant hush fell over the crowd as the two men took their places. Amos presented his signature corn liquor, its purity a testament to generations of mastery. Junior, in contrast, unveiled his watermelon shine with defiant pride. The judges sampled both, their expressions inscrutable as they deliberated. But behind the scenes, the stakes were even higher. Junior had learned that Amos wasn't above playing dirty. Rumors swirled of bribes and threats to sway the judges. Determined to expose Amos's corruption, Junior planted a trusted ally in Amos's camp, hoping to gather evidence. What he uncovered was more sinister than he'd imagined. Amos had ties to a shadowy network of smugglers and enforcers who kept his empire intact. When the judges announced their decision, the crowd erupted. Junior's shine had won by a narrow margin, but before he could claim victory, Amos stepped forward, his face a mask of fury. "This ain't over," he spat. "You think you can take me down with a jar of fruit shine? You'll regret this." The crowd dispersed in uneasy silence, but the feud was far from settled. Junior knew he'd painted a target on his back, and Amos was a man who never forgave a slight. In the days that followed, Junior fortified his operation, arming his crew and doubling his guards. Late at night, the distant howl of coyotes was often drowned out by the sound of gunfire as Amos's men tested Junior's defenses. The final confrontation came under the light of a full moon, deep in the woods where moonshiners had long waged their battles. Junior and Amos faced each other across a clearing, their entourages tense and armed. "You've gone too far, Amos," Junior said. "This ain't about moonshine anymore. It's about fear, and I'm done being afraid." Amos sneered. "You should have stayed in your lane, boy. Now you'll pay the price." As the first shot rang out, the clearing erupted into chaos. The fight was brutal and short-lived, leaving both sides bloodied and broken. But, in the end, it was Junior who emerged victorious, his resolve hardened by the trials he'd faced. The moonshine community would never be the same. Amos's empire crumbled, while Junior's rise marked the dawn of a new era. Yet even in victory, Junior knew the cost. The shadows of betrayal and violence lingered, a dark reminder that in the world of moonshine the line between legend and downfall was perilously thin. If you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe. Smoky Mountain Mysteries.